What's going on, everybody? Christian Ballard, sports journalist here at Ballard Sports Media. Happy Sunday. It's early. It's 6 a.m. But I want to get a head start on these next few videos that I want to be doing. I don't know if it'll be literally the next four, but we're going to try to get these out. Hopefully, all of them within a couple weeks. Work gets in the way and stuff like that. Anyway, I don't got to justify myself, but I'm here. Happy Sunday. And let's get into the video, shall we? So, college football 2026 what ifs. We're going to do one for each of the Power Four conferences. If y'all have any questions for the conferences, let me know. I put a Facebook post out. I think I had put it up on Twitter too, but you can leave it in the comments of this video. Also, give your feedback on some of the questions I'm asking you guys today, and really just asking the SEC, or college football, however you want to put it. Answer the questions in the comments. Would love to hear what you guys think. But also, if you have questions regarding another conference, team in a conference, anything to do with the ACC, the Big 12, and the Big 10, I will come back. I will look at the comments. I'll heart the comments just for being there. I love and appreciate it. But we'll try to answer those as best we can, hopefully, in the next couple videos. We're not doing this in a certain order. I'm just kind of picking at random which conference I'm doing. But came up with four today for the SEC. And gonna try to ask these questions, want feedback in the comments, but also break it down a little bit. Where do we want to start here? Okay. Let's do this one. What if Vanderbilt crumbles post Diego Pavia era under Clark Lee? Uh, I find it kind of funny because Vandy's one of the worst, is the worst SEC program all time, at least to my knowledge. Uh, they really weren't anything before Clark Lee, and they definitely weren't anything before Diego Pavia. But now he's going pro. He'll be drafted day 2, day 3 somewhere. With him gone, now they have a guy in Jared Curtis for Clark Lee to play with at quarterback. So it could be interesting. A 5-star recruit that was originally committed to Georgia. We'll see what it looks like. They've had really good players over the past few years with Pavia, with Eli Stowers at tight end and company. But you look at Trey Richardson, the lead receiver last year. The defense was pretty much improved last year, pretty solid. CJ Hurd at safety, Martell Height at corner. There's so much to love about that. But let's say if they crumble, let's say if they have a really rough year this year. I don't have their schedule pulled up. I got a couple of them, but I don't have Vandy's pulled up. But let's say if they went like 5-7 and they miss a bowl, you're not going to fire Clark Lee after one bad season, after what he just did with 8 wins. I think 6 wins a couple years ago when they beat Alabama in DeBoer's first year. But I mean, you're not going to let him go right away, I don't think. But if they crumble mostly and it's just a steady decline the next couple seasons, do they throw in the towel on Clark Lee and get rid of the guy? I don't know. This is why I need your help. But it's just kind of a what if out of curiosity and just like a hypothetical. That's basically what these are, is hypotheticals. But, you know, I mean, was the last couple years for Vanderbilt, was it because of Diego Pavia? Or was it because Clark Lee built him up and stuff? We're going to find a lot out about Vanderbilt this year. I'm not saying they need to go 10-2 and make the playoffs. I'm not even saying they got to make the SEC title. They got to go somewhere for a bowl game, though. 7-5, maybe 8-4 at most. I don't know. But what if they don't? the next couple years. Is Clark Lee fired? I don't even know what his buyout is. I don't even know what his contract is. I'm just being realistic. But um, what would y'all say if Vanderbilt fell apart after Diego Pavia goes to the draft this year and everything like that? Like what do Vandy fans have to say about that? If it doesn't work with the next guy in Jared Curtis, uh, and some of the new guys you bring in, right? You might have to give them a year to get the feel of the system and all this other stuff. But what if it doesn't work out even after that? What happens? Anyway, that's our first question. Little brother here. You guys know I'm an Alabama fan. What about Alex Golish in year one? What if Auburn misses a bowl game in year one of Alex Golish? Ooh, they need to hit a ball game. They really didn't do that under Hugh Freeze that I know of. 5-7 the last couple years, definitely last year. Which actually does hurt to see that because I do like Auburn making the postseason. I just don't want them to win it all and get their hopes up and act like they're better than Alabama because they're not. Yeah, I'm trash talking this morning. I'm in the mood. Anyway, let's look at their schedule real quick. I've already done a team preview, but like most likely, is it for Auburn that they could miss out on a bowl in 2026? Baylor's in Atlanta. It was in Waco last year and they pulled it off. So, I mean, that's winnable. Um, Keep in mind, too, Byron Brown comes over with Alex Golesh from USF. So, a new quarterback, proven guy. We'll see. Southern Miss, Florida. That's a battle of, two once were good programs and teams. Vanderbilt, we just talked about. That's homecoming for Auburn on the Plains on September 26th. They go to Neyland Stadium. Not a guaranteed win, not a guaranteed loss either. Go to Georgia after a bye week. They have LSU, at Ole Miss, Arkansas, at Mississippi State, Samford, at Alabama. Honestly, I feel like this is like a 7-win schedule here. If I had to pick, I don't see how you don't go to a bowl here. Because think about it. I think they could get Samford. That's one. Mississippi State and Arkansas. That's 2 and 3. Right. Southern Miss is 4. Uh Maybe it's not a guarantee. Oh well, Florida, that's 5. That used to be a big time series, by the way, back in the day. Uh and then do you pick up an extra win? I know Auburn fans want to get back to it. They've been dreaming of like a Cam Newton type year for a long time. They'd love to win it all, as would anybody. But honestly, let's say if you had to go a little bit lower than that and start small, you need to make a bowl game, right? But what about Alex Golish? Um, I mean, he's proven to be a good head coach really everywhere he's been, but especially at USF in that tenure. He brings his quarterback over. You lose a couple key pieces like Cam Coleman to Texas, that wide receiver or whatever, but I mean, you got to build with what you got and work with what you got. I don't know. If Auburn misses a bowl game, I'll laugh. Um, but I mean, is there a early hot seat for Golish if they miss a bowl game in year one? Is there much pressure in year two in 2027? It's too early to say that. I get it. We're still in the 2026 offseason. But let's say if they don't make it, what's next for Auburn? What do you do? Got to hear from you guys on that one. And then let's talk Texas. Um, Texas last year, their schedule was kind of tough, but they had some early struggles, but some late success. What if Texas and Arch Manning build off that late success in 2026? Um, this was a team that had high hopes and expectations for the playoffs last year and ended up missing it. They went 10-3 overall, 6-2 in the SEC. They won their last 3 games, counting a Citrus Bowl win, big time, 41-27 in Orlando against Michigan. Um, they beat Arkansas. They won by 10 against Texas A&M. I get losing in a blowout to Georgia. Georgia blows everybody out at this point, even Bama. Even Bama. But like the Florida loss at Florida, I get losing in the swamp. That's inexcusable. It was 8 points. I get it, but come on. The Ohio State loss, I get. We handled close games pretty well. Should not have been close with Kentucky, but you managed to escape that with a field goal win, or at least a 3-point win, I guess. 16-13, 45-38 in overtime against Mississippi State, 34-31 against Vandy. But then, even though you gave up 37 points to Arkansas, you still scored 52. And then you beat Texas A&M, who was hopeful for the playoffs and everything, and they made it. Um, but it gave them a extra loss on the schedule, and you won 27-17. So you had that late season push for success if you were Texas. How do you build off that this year? And what if they do build off that? Um, when you look at it for Texas, again, a home and home with Ohio State, they host Ohio State in week 2 after Texas State. They also host, they host their first 3 games: Texas State, Ohio State, UTSA, right? So, yeah. Um, Texas is in a good position for 2026. I guess with Arch Manning, here's the thing about Arch Manning, too. He didn't look like what he was made out to be, or even when he came in for Quinn Ewers in 2024. He didn't look like that for most of the season, but he had that late November push. Um, what if he builds off his success? What if with the receivers coming back and guys coming in, um, what if they break out? What happens? What do you do? What do you say to that? I say hook them. I mean, come on. They're going to have a good season. I think Texas is going to be a dangerous team. I'm not picking them for a natty or anything like that. It's too early to tell. However, I think they're in prime position to compete for the SEC and possibly the college football playoff. So, what if they build off late season success last year, especially with Arch Manning back at quarterback for a junior season? The sky could be the limit, but we'll see. And finally, in this video, and again, you can ask more questions in here regarding the SEC in the comments. Definitely want to hear from you on the ACC, Big 10, and Big 12. We'll do videos like this for those conferences as well. I'm doing this because it's my team, but also there's a high standard in Tuscaloosa. What if Alabama doesn't make a national championship in 2026? I'm talking they made the playoffs last year, beat Oklahoma, won the first round, got humiliated by Indiana, who didn't, though. Um, it just didn't go their way in the playoffs last year. I get it because it was Indiana's time, but what if it's Alabama's time this year? What if they're one of the favorites? What if they lose a game in the regular season like they did last year? They actually lost 2. Then they lost to Georgia in the SEC title. But let's say they win the SEC or something, and they get in, and everything's in front of them. We don't know who they're going to play. Keep that in mind. But everything's in front of them to make the Natty. And where's it being played? Las Vegas or something? I don't know. But what if they don't make it? It really comes down to the fans. I doubt Greg Burns going to say anything to Kalen DeBoer, but the Alabama fans, they miss a championship right now. We haven't had one since the COVID year in 2020, which is, if you ask an Alabama fan, it's 6 years too damn long. But what if they don't make it? What if they just don't compete for it? What if they miss the playoffs? They got to bring in a new quarterback this year, either Austin Mack or Keelan Russell. Keelan Russell is getting most of the attention this spring from the media, but you got Ryan Williams back. Uh, Jeremy Bernard goes pro. Um, I mean, there's the pieces are there. It's gonna be a young team, but the talent is there, and I feel like it's gonna be a team that's gonna get off to a slow start, but is gonna improve greatly each week. Possibly. Very possible there. But what if they don't make a national championship? Am I gonna sweat? I'm gonna be heartbroken. I'm still not going to want Kalen DeBoer fired. But I guarantee you, there are internet Alabama fans on Facebook and Twitter and the comments of this YouTube channel that will be calling for Kalen DeBoer's head if they don't even sniff the national championship. They might make the semis. They might come up shy, one game shy of making a national title. That's fine. What if they bounce in the first round? What if they don't even make the playoffs? What are you going to say? What are you going to do if you're Alabama or an Alabama fan? You're going to be pretty heartbroken. Just call it what it is. Anyway, that's all for this video here. What Ifs SEC Edition 2026. We're going to do this for each of the other conferences, the Big 10, the Big 12, and the ACC. But let me know some answers to these questions in the comment section down below. And also, if you have any more for the other conferences, let me know. It could be any of them. I'm not sure which one I'm doing next. I'm going to come up with some of my own, but greatly appreciate it if you guys could ask some good questions too for the other conferences. So I love y'all. Jesus loves you. Keep your head up. God bless. And we'll see you next time here at Ballard Sports Media.